How you guys doing today? If you're new, welcome for the first time. If you're a veteran here, welcome back. Today is Tuesday, July 13th, 2021. Let's get into it. So if you are new, what we're going to talk about today is technical analysis. We're going to talk about nine stocks today that most folks have never heard of. One you definitely have, 8 you probably haven't. And the best part about this channel is the technical analysis that we talk about can be put on any time frame. I use the 180-day 4-hour chart. You can use the 1 day, 5 day, 10 day, it doesn't matter. This is going to be transferable to any time frame and be just fine. So again, if you don't want to swing trade like I do, that's totally fine. What we're going to talk about is supports, resistances, trend lines, patterns, EMA lines, volume profile, RSI, stochastic, and the vortex indicator. The last one, number 10, is love. What's up? So we're going to talk about today are those things. Of course, technical analysis is 1/8 of what I would do. As the class that's coming out, stay tuned. Risk management, a trading plan, goal setting, macro markets, mental, fundamental, technical, and consistency. Well, those three analysis, consistency. Those 8 things make up how I'm successful. It's the structure that I built. Inside that structure is my trading system. If this sounds confusing, if you're like, the hell are you talking about? Good. Being confused and not understanding is the first step to actually learning something new. So again, that's a great sign for you. Today we got 9 stocks. I don't want to take too much time to talk about it. If you enjoy this content, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. I'd love to have you guys back again. Secondly, there is a Discord chat with newsletters, 5 in the morning, 5 at night, 10 newsletters, daily updates, community access, early video access. We have a $4,000 scanner that we have for day trading. It's a bunch of good stuff. The best part is I don't charge until August 1st. You can join now, enjoy for 16, 17 days. And then if you don't like it, leave. It's cool. If you do enjoy it, stick around. Lastly, I would like to talk about and say there's a lot of great content creators. Go support them as well. Go enjoy them as well. If you don't like clickbait, find folks like me who like the actual real nitty gritty and the actual steak, no fat kind of approach. If you like to talk about AMC all day, go watch those dudes, right? That's totally fine too. I'm not upset about it. But again, we talk about stuff here that most folks don't even understand. I'm probably your favorite stock trader, honestly. So that being said, we have 9 great tickers. Let's get into it. So our first one is CX. Before I talk about CX, real quick, I had a question about this from some subscribers. Let me show you something real quick. So CX is dope, right? But let's go to SPY real quick. Oh, these lines, what do these lines mean? I use a study called CCI. You can use this too. I'll talk about this on Saturday. I talk about my Saturday episodes. I buy most of my swing trades when CCI gets below 100. I want it at negative 100. When it's down here, we're pretty good to go. Now, negative 200 is a fantastic deal, right? This is like RSI, but it's a little less like volatile. It's pretty consistent. And every single line here is where we got to negative 100. And you can see with price action thrown in, it's fairly consistent. I mean, you can see almost all these are really pinpoint accurate. This one isn't, because again, it's based on price action. It's pretty high up there, right? Almost every single time you've been good to buy in for swing trades on the macro indexes with CCI. Of course, we're getting close to that. We're a little high up here, but if you go to like -ES, it's the same thing. That's the price structure that I have. You can see every time you get near this purple line or this yellow line, you would have been successful in buying in. All I'm saying is that when it comes to your trading plan, you really should be including macro markets. That's what I do. Again, on Saturday, on my episodes about macro markets, I'll talk more about that. But again, CCI, macro markets, for those who are asking, there you go. That's when I plan my swing trades for entries. So CX, let's start with our supports and resistances. Supports, I'm saying right about here, right? We have once, twice, resistance, it was a support, it bounced off. This is a beautiful support area, and we're right there, very low risk. Our first resistance, I want to make a channel with 100% moves. I'll go with probably right about there. What I mean by that is that from support to resistance and resistance to support, 100% moves. 100%, 100%, 100%, real close, 100%, very close. That's where he stopped it at, 100%, 100%. close. You know, it's not going to be perfect all the time. But that's a really good resistance. Now, if it's like 1%, I wouldn't consider it, but we are moving about 4.5. So again, that makes sense for that kind of placement. For our trend line, you can come all the way down and move all the way up. And we can see it does tap perfectly right about there. That's gorgeous. Extend right as always. Golden channel. You can see perfectly we're not there yet. I mean, perfect trend line play is down here, which also is getting close to support area down here. So if we do see a pullback tomorrow, if it is red tomorrow, the macro markets look red, you're going to look for 770. Right, but right here looks pretty good. Duplicate, bring this up, get some more hits. Okay, get some more hits. You know, just like that, like Sammy Hagar and Van Halen, they need some more hits, baby. You know what I'm saying? Sick joke. If you're too young for that joke, leave my channel. But you can see that this is a great trend line up. You always want to have a resistance trend line. Sure, there's one like this. I'd say we're kind of in the middle of a broadening wedge. You know what I mean? We're getting some higher highs here. We're not going to be tapping it. I'm looking at that, but I'm also looking at the short-term play. I do see some lower highs here. That's pretty important. I'm going to do this. Of course, we know it's a bullish uptrend, but I want to make sure I know that, as I hit the wrong button, idiot, that this is a really good resistance trend line. This is going to be a really good go signal. Once we kind of break above this and retest and take off, breaking this is our first main goal to having a good push up. Just like over here. See, this was a resistance trend line just kind of like that, and then it broke out, had a big move. We want that right there. Last thing that we're going to add is our volume profile. Now, if you're like, Evan, what the hell's volume profile? Watch the video. I got a whole video on it for like 30 minutes explaining it. I have a new one that's like 45, 50 minutes coming out for the class. Watch those. I can't explain it right now. I still love you though. So we can come over and see we have two yellow lines. All right, the one is tied up with this resistance perfectly. So I'm going to move this just a little bit. Okay, just a little bit up. That's fine. It's no big deal. But we have our first line. These two lines here are going to tell us where 70% of the volume happens. It all happens in the middle of here. So again, this is not here nor there. It can be good. It can be bad. Watch the video. And this is our POC. It's a very strong support and a very strong resistance. It's also very gravitational. So now that we're above it, if we do dip hard, which I don't foresee is happening on CX, if we do dip hard down to 643, it'll be a support. But the bad part is it's trying to pull us down. It's like a very strong planetary gravitational pull there. So again, you want to look at volume profile, watch that video. Last thing we always do is we come on over, put the ticker itself on here because I'm liable to forget because I'm an idiot. So there's CX. That to me is a perfect technical chart. Now again, 1, do this yourself. 2, do mental analysis. And 3, if you decide to enter, practice mental analysis, right? What's your holding in to be, confidence, your edge, all those kinds of things. Think about those things. So a beautiful setup, a beautiful horizontal play. Bounce, bounce, bounce. It bounces in this area. Yes, it broke down, but it came back. That's really a good confidence builder. Sure, you can come in and, you know, say, oh, our trend line's more like this. Oh, the trend line's more, you know, horizontal. Sure, but for me, I've played CX multiple times. It's been successful almost every single time. It's a great value right here. I want to see a little bit lower. Give me 780, right? Give daddy 780, 785. Anywhere in here, I'm just going to highlight real quick. Anywhere in this area, a little bit lower, that area will be a good place for me to play off of. I like it a lot. Let's check the indicators. What's super cool about this channel, besides me, obviously, the same exact shirt every single episode, is that I don't actually scan with indicators on. VWAP, not on. EMA lines, not on. RSI, not on. I don't check any of these things with indicators. As the class is going to explain to you, it's always price action first. You should have a beautiful setup with clarity, trend line supports. Sweet baby, easy to read. Indicators are going to reinforce or deter you from entering. Now, if they look really good and the price action's good, hell yeah, go for it. If the price action's great and the indicators are not good, give it a second, but it should be just fine. Again, price action first, indicator second. But what's dope is that now you're going to see live what I see with indicators. I'm not going to cheat. I've never looked at these before. Let's look at these together. Off the bat, we can see the 200 is going to be a support when it's hit. It's important to notice we don't hit the 200, hit it once, twice, 3 times. We're definitely going more horizontal. All right, when you have no hits in the 200, then you have 5 in 4 months. That's a bit concerning for an uptrend play. Again, we have a support horizontal play. That's convergence. But again, vertically, it is slowing down. But it is a sure sign of value. You get down here, great value. Down here, great value. Down here, good value. Even lower, better value. So again, we have a lower high, we have a lower low. Again, we're trying to capture the macro move, but again, this is a fantastic value. Yes, these will be small resistances moving forward. Plan on that, but again, we have value for sure. RSI backs that up. This is really low. Love it. Stochastic is low. Love it. Bulls could be a bit lower. Bears a bit higher, but again, 1 or 2 more days of pulling back to where you want it, then start to kind of show some life. This is a great setup. CX, give it a day. Right, let's see if we get some life tomorrow. Let's see if we can cross the 200. Let's see if we can get a better value. I'd give it a day or two, but CX needs to be on your watch list. Next is DFEN, DFEN. We can see it's a ETF trust, aerospace. Oh, aerospace, that sounds like, oh yeah. So make sure you do, wrong button, but make sure you guys do your fundamental research on what this is, what's in it, and what's a part of, right? That's important. But we can see clear lower highs and higher lows. Consolidation. So again, a beautiful trend up. It's a little steep. I mean, we're talking almost a move of like what, like, yes, 50% in like 6 months. Not ridiculous, but it's a big move. But the supports here, right? We have a bunch of resistances. We tried it once, tried twice, when we survived. We live a third time and break this resistance downtrend. That's going to be the move. Sure, this all breaks down. It really does die down. Big red day tomorrow, the next few days. Sure, we're going to look for 20 bucks, right? 20, 25. This is going to be a great support play as well. But up here, we can get a breakout, keep going. I mean, you can see a bunch of triangle action over here, right? This whole area over here was like a big old triangle, right? Downtrend, downtrend, broke it, kept going, right? Little baby triangle here, right? That broke it, right? This downtrend right here, broke it. So again, we're trying to break this downtrend and keep this bad boy rolling. Let's check these indicators real quick. So we can see the 200 once again. A John Stockton exclusive right here, big fella. This is a great 200 play. Value, value, value. It hits it a bunch, hits it a bunch. Now again, it breaks at a different amount. So again, I wouldn't be like, oh, it's for sure going to come back quickly. But this is definitely a great value. Also, you see how this is the triangle? You see the email lines are directly in the middle? That shows consolidation. I don't know about day trading. I'm not a big day trade guy. But when the 180-day time frame and the 50 and 200 email lines are in the middle of the triangle, that again reinforces and shows consolidation. If you didn't know that, I deserve a subscribe. Thank you. I'll wait. No, but for real, check it out. So great value right here. RSI, you want it at 30. All right, you want it lower, but again, right where it's at, look horizontally. It spends 98% of the time north of here. So again, it's a great deal. Stochastic is low. If it does hold here, let's say it starts reverse tomorrow, it's an obvious divergence, right? You have a lower low, but a higher low. So again, if it does reverse tomorrow and shows some life, that's an obvious divergence. The only concern is that bulls are on top, bears are below. You want bulls down here and bears up here. So again, you want to see a continuation. I'm sure there must have been a massive volume spike up here. That's a huge volume spike. So again, it's probably low volume selling it off. So yeah, I'm not overly concerned, but that is the only red flag that's not set up right. But DFEN, if it gets a bit lower or we get to see some life, it has a lot of bowl-shaped reversal. See how it's a lot of like slow, rounded bottoms like this? The bottom's kind of like that. If we can get one of those started, I'll feel a lot better. But DFEN, I like it. I would watch list it. Next is DHT. I've called DHT before. I actually called it over here and it did just fine. And again, we're right at value. This trend line has been pure. Super beautiful. See all these wicks? Wick, 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 wicky, wicky. No, but we can see all the wicks coming here. What's that? Oh, a wick, and it's right here. That to me is a beautiful sight. And again, you're like, well, look at this sell-off. Well, it does that a lot, stupid. And it kind of takes its time to take off. So again, I wouldn't rush in. But that's, you know, a good looking setup right there. Supports obviously right here. Resistance, 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 resistance. Oh, support, support. This 590 for a reason. This is the cat's pajamas right here, big fellas, where folks want to buy into. This is your loading zone for sure. And we have a great trend line. Sure, we may have a broadening wedge, whenever a pattern, which you should always look for patterns, has one of these, and you see that the resistance trend line and the supporting trend line are going off like this, eventually, not a guarantee, but eventually, the supporting trend line or the resistance trend line will not be hit again. It's going to keep going in one direction, and you'll stop and not get to the support. Like, you'll go up, come halfway down and keep going, or you'll never hit the resistance again for that trend line. So be aware, this pattern will eventually break. That's the whole gist of the idea. So we have to wait for the next swing high, see what it's going to do. But right here is a fantastic value. Sure. Oh, you're only going to make 7, 8, 10%. Well, jackass, you're only risking 2.5. So again, that's a 4-to-1 ratio. Daddy likes that. Let's check the indicators. We can see that the 200 to 50 will be resistances moving forward. Sure, below here again, we have clear value. It breaks the 200 a lot just to come back. Clear value, but again, it will be a resistance. See how it came up here and said, oh, we're going to live. Yeah, and then it died, and oh, we're going to come up here again. Block, right? Block, 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 block. This thing's going to be a resistance, so make sure you're short-term price target, not long-term, short-term. Price targets are based off the EMA lines. The first time in months it's under 30. Beautiful. We have an obvious divergence. Bump, 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 bump. See these lower lows, but right over here, this is a triple bottom. Delicioso. That's my favorite. Bulls low, bears high. It's perfect. I mean, besides the 200 EMA line being a support, it's basically perfect. Sure, you want it, what? 5 cents cheaper. But again, DHT, watch listed in my opinion, it looks really good. Next is HCHC. I've called this over here, and I called it over here. Again, I call the same plays occasionally, but again, when I see value, Papa's got to call value. It is what it is. We can see a not very clear, but again, fairly clear resistance trend, the exact same as the bottom here. This is a great channel up. It's a nice slow burner. This is what I like to see, right? Give me 2 weeks of holding. I like that. I got a job to do. I got work. Let me buy in at 380. Give me that 375. Like, get that at 375. Hold for a few weeks. Get 10%. Get in. Get out. Perfect. HCHC. The POC will be a small resistance, but it wants to pull us higher. If our worst case is hitting this at 5%, that's not bad at all. Again, you do have lower highs, but again, long-term, higher lows. It's consolidating in the short term, right? It's consolidating in the short term. It's not easy to draw. Sure, I could do this. That's fine. And again, if we do make a move of 17%, hopefully you would take some profit. So again, really good value. Sure, if it does keep breaking down, don't buy. If you see red tomorrow, don't buy in, right? We see some red, see some red, see some red. We get to like 360. We get to like this support area. Yeah, this is going to be the backup. This thing keeps coming down. It keeps, crashing. You get in around 360 for the horizontal play. That'll be the move. But for now, that trend line looks great. That support looks great. I like it a lot. The clarity is there. Let's check the indicators. We can see clearly now, not that much. So we can see that the 200 and the 50 will be resistances, right? We have clear value, price action, clear value. But again, to get above these EMA lines is going to be a real B word. So again, you can see right there, it's like, oh, pre-market, F you and die. So again, if you want to wait for it to get above both, sure, you could see a good quick day trade, 4 or 5 easy %. But for me, I'm willing to buy off of value because the stop loss area, once again, this all breaks down. I get out at like 2.5%, 3%. No big problem at all. I like it a lot. RSI, it could be lower, but again, 85% of the time, it's higher than this. That's totally fine. Stochastic, again, that big push up ran it up. I mean, you'd be, oh, it's big. Well, it's like 5%. A good little push up. It's coming back down. Maybe it comes down. Another 13 pips, come down just a little bit more, that 375 spot, and turn around. Bulls low, bears high. Looks good. HCHC, sure, for a beginner, a bit more convoluted, a little bit harder to read, but again, watch list it, fundamental analysis, make a plan. I like it a lot. So next is LW, Lamb Weston Holdings. That guy I bet Lamb Weston sounds like a shitty Batman villain, honestly. Oh, that's cool though. But again, a super beautiful uptrend. Higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. What's funny about that concept, and this is really cool, is that like a lot of beginners forget that's a really big deal to have a higher low and a higher high. If you don't have that, at least on the macro level, what are you doing? All the indexes are getting higher highs, or at least they're horizontal. If you're having a bunch of lower lows and lower highs, Why you buy that? What are you doing? It's not good. So we can see LW. This is going to be a support at the POC paired with a traditional support. Sure, it could be a bit higher. Maybe it broke down. So maybe we're going to see 76.45. Sure, it keeps coming down. Don't rush in, okay? Unless the indexes look real good. Don't rush in. This resistance trend line is super interesting, though. The only one I could really find that had 3 really good hits was this one. You can see we broke above it. And what are we doing now? Retesting it. We're trying to get some life off of this resistance trend line that we broke. And so if we do come down to like 77.32, 77.50, anywhere in here, look at that convergence spot. Look at all these lines. Look at all these ants. Look at all this mom spaghetti. My knees weak and my arms are heavy right here. If we do get in this area, it comes down and hits it and shows some life. Again, the risk is minimal, 1%. You can hold to the volume profile line, 3%. Oh, good God. But you're looking to make at least 5.5, 6 for a good move. That's 2 to 1. A full move is 3 to 1, if not 4 to 1. LW checks out in my book. Great convergence. Let's check the indicators. We can see that, again, below the 200, it's a nice slow burner, or it's going nice and slow. Again, below it, clear value. Will there be resistance? Hell yeah. So again, be cautious of that. RSI, 96% of the time, it's north of here. That's a great sign. Negative 40, exactly what you want to see. Again, is it a divergence? Not yet, not really. Bulls low, bears high. Again, everything points to the sign of value. LW has that. Your worst case Ontario is that you break down to 75.50 if you want to hold. Again, if you don't buy in, into LW and hit 75.50, look to buy in there for sure. What I would do if I was you is that I would take a drawing tool, right? I'd go to 75, 71 or whatever. I would draw that. I would right click it. I'd zoom in. Watch this. I'd right click it. Create a layer with the drawing. Create. If I don't buy LW because I'm like, you're convinced on your side of the computer it's a horizontal play, let it cross right there. You see that, you can get that layer, you buy in. LW, if you want to buy in, not financial advice. Gotcha. It's an opinion. So LW looks good here, looks good for a horizontal play. I like both. Next is NM. Not for the faint of heart. NM is stupid volatile. It's really crazy. I think for a day trade, for a 1 day, look how dumb that looks and how dumb this 5 day looks. It's crazy. It's not good for a beginner by any means. Your stop loss has to be like 8%. Like it has to be real down far in here, right? This is what you're looking at. But again, this area, if this were to drop to like 680 or drop to like 675 tomorrow, were to come down a little bit farther in this area, ooh, it's gonna be beautiful. Even right here, if I'm risking 8%, we'll say 8%. Just hit the trend line here is almost a 3 to 1 in itself, right? That's 25% right there. So again, do I love the volatility? Yeah, I do. Because I'm experienced. I'm sure if I were to wait for it to come down a little bit farther, I could have a great deal. If I see some life, I could find the proper time frame and go off it. Beginners, I don't love risking 8% as a beginner off the bat. But again, more experienced folks, sure, there's a little bit of higher lows in here. Not really, not really there. Of course, it kind of broke down a little bit, but the support plays there. Descending triangles in theory are not the best setups, but if you do get a breakout, well, if this does break out and you do get a number of these big moves up here, like a big one like this, you could sell half your position at 100%, hold the rest of your life, and then it has a lot of upside, but a good mild bit of downside. I'd be cautious. Let's check the indicators. We can see that it was right at the 200. It's come down this far before and it's come back. It's come down and it's come back. So again, that's a great sign of value. But again, these will be resistances. Again, we probably look for 16%, 2 to 1, unless you have a better eye than I, or it comes down to like 685. If it comes down lower, like 685, 670, that becomes a whole different story. But again, the EMA lines, great value. There'll be resistances though. We can see it's low, stock low, bulls low, bears high, no divergence, it all checks out. NM, again, a great veteran play. I'm not here for it if you're a beginner, but again, if you have trust in yourself and you have a plan and you want to watch list it and do that, that's on you. But NM, I want to watch list it and watch. Roblox looks good. I mean, it is what it is. I don't like hype plays. I don't like them. I don't like being that guy who is I am not anti-AMC. I am not anti-GME. I'm not anti screwing hedge funds. I'm not. But this conversation has to be had. If you're entering a position that's hyped because someone else's edge and a lot of other people's edge tells them to join, and then you enter the market with an adversarial mindset that you're going to take something from somebody else instead of letting the market dictate opportunities, and you take advantage when they're given to you. So again, if you want to take instead of act upon opportunities given to you, I have an issue. I don't think folks who buy Roblox, I don't think folks who buy AMC all the time, some people are fine, but all the time, a lot of folks don't have the plan, the mental analysis, the technical analysis to properly enter these positions. So before someone's like, he's a hater, I'm not a hater. I don't dislike hype plays. I just don't like the culture that they're creating. With that being said, Roblox here does make some sense. So again, I'm going to make this quick. A gorgeous triangle. Sure, this is all the historical data that we have. Right? You could have bought Roblox up here and you would have held and been just fine. And of course, this was a great support play. Some folks are calling it. I'm not that kind of guy. Sure, you have this great trend line, whatever. But again, this is a giant, beautiful pennant, horizontal triangle, whatever you want to call it. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous setup. Sure, if it gets like another dollar lower, it's almost perfect. Again, I don't love that it's Roblox, but if I'm being unbiased, it's a good setup. Let's check the indicators. For the love of God. We can see below the 200s value. I don't put much emphasis because there's probably not even been 200 candles, honestly, there's probably been that many, but like, again, not much weight in this, so I'm not going to consider this, but again, traditionally, this is a good value. Low, low, bulls low, bears high. Again, it's logical. It's a good setup, okay? I don't want to be a hater, but again, if you are going to be like, you called the hype stock, dude, I'm not here for it or against it. I just really don't like the culture that they create, and sometimes it's super toxic, and I don't like it. Again, I don't like hedge funds either, but again, if you're going to enter the market with an adversarial mindset, you're going to get boned, dude. I would just be careful. Next is TDAC. On a happier note, TDAC, look at the setup. I mean, again, you want to get in down here and ride it up for 16%. Even here, it's 3% to 15 for a good move. 5 to 1. Yeah, 5 to 1. Good math. So again, a super easy horizontal play. This has remnants of KPTI. Now look at KPTI over here. All this bullshit doesn't matter. All over here. See this setup? Know what happened? It broke down and died. Know what TDAC has a possibility of doing? Breaking down and dying. You know what Goro did? Broke down and died. So again, there's some plays that do this. They go, see you, nerd. And some plays go, see you, nerd. So again, have a plan. Don't be bag holding. Right? If it does drop down like 11, 13 tomorrow, hell yeah, banana bread. But again, if it does come down farther, great. If it starts to take off, fine, whatever. It breaks the POC is probably a good place to enter. But again, TDAC, horizontal play, it's super logical. Yeah, you have lower highs. Yeah, it's not perfect, as you can see, right? You have some form of consolidation, but I could also argue, which I'm not advocating for. You see this, I also noticed this. You see this kind of triangle happening? Sure, maybe you have some form of consolidation. I don't love it. It's okay. I like the horizontal play, but again, a super obvious read. Let's check the indicators. Again, the EMA line's directly in the middle, again, showing consolidation. Yes, there'll be resistances, but again, they're mainly showing us trend, and they're kind of down. See how they're kind of coming down? So again, not great, but again, it's more horizontal than anything. RSI, it's low. Stochastic, it's low. Bulls, they're low. Bears, they're high. So again, TDAC checks every box. If you like to buy off a value, I'd wait. Okay, it's a little bit high, but again, it is aftermarket. It did bounce up, almost 2%. Okay, if it does open up tomorrow and goes red down to like 11.52, you'll be fine. But TDAC, I like it a lot. I would just give it some time to show some more value, or for us to see it start ripping and show some life. But TDAC, watchlist it. Last, and sweetly not Schmeat, is UIS. I don't see any life on UIS yet. So again, am I rushing in? No. But again, when it does reverse, it does move quickly. So again, I'm not going to be, super Mr. I gotta see a perfectly set up candle. Sure, maybe on a smaller time frame, you can go like a 10-day, then you'll find some beautiful candle setup. Okay, I don't know what you're gonna see or what you're gonna look for, but again, you have some great possibilities on smaller time frames. A lot of these, right? You can see, you can just be like, look, you have a freaking lower low, lower high, higher low, lower high, lower low. So you went from lower high, lower low. We're now more bearish than bullish in this time frame. You want to wait to see some life here, whatever, that's fine, do you. Right, I wouldn't rush in. But on this time frame, this support area is godlike, dude. I think, again, 23.15. Let this bad boy wick down tomorrow. Hit this, come back. You buy towards 23.43. If it does come down, show some life, you'll run this bad boy up 6 easy %. It breaks above this resistance trend line, and then you're off to the races. UIS, watch listed. I like it a lot. Let's check these indicators. So we can see it tested the 200. See how I said that before on the first stock for CX? It started testing it more and more often. Now it's going horizontal. If you never thought about that, if you can see a stock the first 3 months never hits the 200 and then it goes once, twice, 3 times, it's going more horizontal. Be aware of that for ascending plays. Again, give that subscribe. I need it. So UIS, a great value, but again, I'm going for a horizontal play. That may be $22. It may even be as low as $21. So again, not rushing in, but again, this is a great support area. Low, RSI, love it. Stochastic, it's low, love it. Bulls low, bears high. For a horizontal play, looks great. Watch this. I do like it a lot. What's super interesting, this is why I talked about CCI in the beginning, is that a lot of these plays are actually horizontal plays. Now, what's interesting is that there's some days, there's some weeks that we're going to have a bunch of triangles. They will have a bunch of channel ups, a bunch of support plays. This one in particular, a lot of support plays with a few triangles thrown in there. This should be a bit concerning because we have a lot of red, but the markets have been going up. Now today was red and it came down, a lot of stuff came down, which is good. We need that. But again, make sure you have a plan. You check your risk management, you have a trading plan, you goal set within that fundamental, mental, technical analysis. You throw in some macro trends, trading plan, all those kinds of great things, and consistency. You'll be much better off. Once again, I know I say it again a lot, shut up. But once again, the class is coming soon. I have 23 lessons done, 50. And the next ones are gonna be much more fundamental and script heavy than they are like technical analysis, me charting. So they should be moving a little bit quicker. If this stuff sounds interesting, like, subscribe, bell notification, check out the Discord. No pressure though. Otherwise, have a good rest of your Tuesday. And we'll see you guys tomorrow, July 14th, for another watch list. Appreciate you.